You're so used to spending like excruciating amounts of money on skins that you're going to be used to spending stupid amounts of money when you grow older. It's a mindset that's being set on you at a young age, and this is what you need to know and understand. So I want you to ask yourself, the products that you're buying right now, are they actually worth the money that you're paying for them? Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be going through two key things that can potentially help you save a lot of money. If it doesn't help you save a lot of money, it's at least going to make you aware of what's draining money from you without you even knowing. Now I'm going to have to use my phone because there's a lot of facts and figures I need to go through, and there was no way I was going to memorize it all. So you might see me looking at my phone every now and then. So first of all, I want to welcome you to the M.i.A log. Now, I was meant to be on episode 12 by now, but this is actually episode number 2. The reason I'm so far behind is because of the whole coronavirus pandemic happening and the fact that I had a baby boy. But now I'm going to get back on top of things and start creating content again. My child's gone a bit bigger. He's able to go longer without crying, so I'm able to get on with some of my content creative work. Now, in my previous log, the main question I kept getting asked was, who is this aimed at? Now, honestly, it's aimed at a younger me. Things I wish I would have known when I was younger. So, my nieces and nephews out there right now, I hope this video becomes useful for them, because they can somewhat learn from the experiences I've gone through. And to you as well, anyone that's watching right now, if you're able to learn from this and understand a bit more about these two things in your life that you may be putting money out for, and you're just wasting money in the long run if you're not thinking about it properly. Now, this is also aimed at anyone who's struggling to save money. You might not be aware of these two things that you're doing, and it could be potentially making a hole in your pocket. This video right here is going to be very useful to know at the age of 11 to 15 if you're able to watch this and understand this. If you can adopt these habits I'm about to tell you by the ages of 16 to 19, you will have a better financial future. From the ages 20 to 24, it's better late than never. So taking on the advice I'm about to give you now, better to do it late than never. And by the ages of 25 plus, you should have learned these lessons already, because you would have gone through these, what do they call it, experiences, and you would have realized how much money it actually ends up taking from you in that long period of time. So the aim right now in the industry in general is to keep you spending as much of your monthly income as possible. So it's not about one-off payments anymore. It's about subscriptions, monthly payments. This way, whatever you're getting coming in, you're more willing to give that up, because to you it's a small payment per month that you're giving up, where before it would have been, oh, I need to save £15,000 to buy a car, I need to save £300 to buy a phone. It's more appealing if someone says to you, hey, pay me £20 a month or £30 a month and you can have this phone, right? So by putting in subscriptions, monthly payments and membership fees and all of that stuff into smaller payments without you actually owning the product, you're actually losing out on so much money. Two of the simplest way that you're spending money without you even knowing, and maybe spending more than you're wanting to, is mobile phone contracts and financing a car. So like I said earlier on, this will be useful for the youth to know. If you're young and can learn from the messages I'm about to tell you, trust me, you're in for a better future, a better financial future. Now, if this sounds like an interesting topic to you and you're liking what I'm saying right now, hit the like button. It's like giving me a virtual high five, and it helps the video actually show up on other people's feeds. So let's get on with it. Let's start with phone contracts. Now, we're in a transition period right now, and it's actually already happened. When I was writing this and when I was creating this back in February, we was in that transition period, but we've kind of merged onto it now. So the transition period I'm talking about is, before we was on a 24-month contract as a normal thing. Now, our normal is 36 months contract. You're being tied into a 3-year contract with a phone now, which is ridiculous. But again, that's because phone prices are getting so high. And I want to explain that in more detail later on. Now, I want to tell you about 3 different phone contracts, or 3 types of contracts that you can actually take. and which one you should actually be going for. So you have a high-end contract where you pay a lot for the phone, you pay a lot for the actual contract itself, meaning the data. You have a low-end contract where you buy a low-end phone, but you get a high data plan. And then you have the SIM-only plan. I don't know why I've got so many fingers up. So I asked Google, this was about 6 months ago, I asked Google, what's the average phone bill? The result I got back is, in 2018, the average phone bill was £45.60 on a 24-month contract. Now, my research has actually shown me by 2021, which is not far off, the average contract cost will be £63 a month. Now, if you actually go to any of the major network providers right now, you'll see that price is already being hit. If you want to get any form of like flagship phone or even mid-range phone, you're coming close to that price bracket already. So this data right here may be out of date, and depends if you're watching it later down the line, it will most likely be out of date. But as it stands right now, for £60 a month, you get 30 gigabytes of data and a phone that's valued over £1,000, but no more than £1,300. You pay a premium for data essentially when you buy a phone. You don't pay for calls or text messages anymore. Data is where they charge you majority of the money. So per year for that contract at £60 a month with that 30 gigabytes of data and your phone valued over £1,000, you're paying £711 per year. Now in the full term of your contract, considering contracts are now 3 years long, you're going to pay £2,135 in that contract term. Now £1,000 of that is just your data plan, which is ridiculous. Now I know we all need data and we all use data more than ever now. And what you need to understand is, when you get a data plan and attach it to a phone contract, you pay a premium on that. I'll explain in a second. Let's talk about a low-end contract first. So a low-end contract is you get a low-end phone, but you get a big data pack. So we're going with 30 gigabytes of data again, but the phone is worth less than £500. Now with the phone being less than £500, you're still paying a premium for the data, and per year now, you're now paying £367. So in total, you're paying £1,100 throughout the term of your contract, and you're paying around £800 for your data. Now what I want you to adapt, if you can, and this will save you money in the long run, trust me, is go for a SIM-only contract, right? So save money to buy the phone that you want and put yourself on a SIM-only contract. So remember, the high-end contract and the low-end contract I was talking to you about, they were offering you 30 gigabytes of data for £60 a month. On SIM-only, for £20 a month, you get 100 gigabytes of data. That's over 3 times the amount, right? And in the term of the contract length, so if we go to the 3-year contract length, you're spending £720. So you're not paying that premium for that data anymore. So now think about this. In essence, by you going on a SIM-only plan, say you think about a multiverse, right? There's a version of you that's going to buy the phone with the contract. Let's use the low-end contract, for example. There's a version of you that's going to buy the low-end contract with the 30 gigabyte plan. And there's a version of you that's going to do the SIM-only plan, right? You're actually going to end up saving £10 per month on the SIM-only plan, right? So that means in the course of 3 years, you could save up to £383. That's on the low-end contract. If you went for a high-end contract, for example, if you compared it to the high-end contract, you'll be saving more per month, and your savings could actually go up to £1,415 in those 3 years. So that means the amount that you save by being on a SIM-only plan, you can actually spend that money to then buy the phone that you want outright. All you have to do is postpone that dopamine hit. That dopamine hit that tells you, I want that new piece of technology right now and I can't wait to get it. Delay that for a little bit and save up to buy the product, and trust me, you will be better off. That's all we have to start doing. There's a lot of science behind delaying dopamine hits right now, and it's going to be one of the episodes that I touch on later on. If you don't know what dopamine is, I will be talking about it and the effects of it and the negative sides of it. But if you can't wait for that episode to come out, then do some research it's great to know about how our brains actually function and what triggers us. The reason why the saving method is so important right now is because the technology market, especially in the phone industry, is getting out of hand. Devices are costing way too much. So, you're going to be familiar with these two devices. They're the most talked about devices in 2019. However, they've been updated. There's new versions of this now. There's the Fold 2 and the Razer the 5G version of it out now as well. But the prices I'm showing you right now was back then, and even now the prices for those new models aren't that far off. They're a bit more acceptable to buy because they've been upgraded to that. Well, the Razer isn't. The Fold 2, I'm more inclined to buy it because of the upgrades that they did to it, but I still can't justify the cost that they're charging for it. Sorry, the price that they're charging for it right now. However, I'll continue instead of digressing. So, the cost of these devices when new is above £1,500. Now, the reason, and this is going back to why we're going over to 36 months contracts, is because to spread the cost of that product, one of those products, over 24 months, it would cost £60 a month. That's without the data. Don't forget, they make their money on data, selling you data. So £60 a month before they even added data to the plan. You can see why they need to increase the contract length to £36 to spread the load that's going to be placed on you. So as you can tell, there's no way in hell that they're going to spread this cost over 12 months, which is what contracts used to be. When it first started up, they used to be 12 months contracts. So 12 months contracts was relevant in the early 2000s. Phones cost considerably less. The average contract cost per month back then was £13 a month. If you skip forward to 2007, before the smartphone era, so I'm talking the N95, this came at a retail price of £370, making the average phone price for that £35 a month. That's what I was used to. £35 a month used to be an expensive contract back then, and that was on a 12-month deal. Skip ahead to the smartphone era. Now this is where you start seeing that the 12-month contract doesn't make sense anymore. So we had the normal conventional phone, mobile phone, 12 months was fine. Smartphones came along, shot everything out the water. Now we need 24 months contracts. The smartphones became more acceptable and people were more willing to buy smartphones on a 24-month contract because the devices were worth about £600. That was the max price for the smartphones back then, £600. And on a 24-month contract, that would place it at £35 a month, which was again acceptable. £35, I can deal with that. So to make these phones more acceptable to us to buy now, they need to introduce that 36 months. My issue is with the recommended retail prices of these products. Personally, especially when the Fold came out, I know it's a first gen and everything like that, it was the first of its kind, but it's not worth the value that's being placed on it. To me, these products just aren't worth it. Especially right now, you've got the Note 20 Ultra at over £1,000. Not worth it. If it was to hit the £1,000 mark, I may consider it. If it was to hit the £1,000 mark, I may consider it. If these devices were hitting the £1,400 mark, again, I may consider it. The reason I say that is because for the prices of these products, you can buy a supercomputer, in essence, nowadays. You can actually buy something that will allow you to do so much more than a mobile phone. But that's the generation that we're growing up in now. Kids, I remember back when I was growing up, I wanted a computer, not a mobile phone. Well, I did, but a computer was more useful to me, right? But now, kids are wanting a mobile phone before they want a computer. Some of them don't even want a computer because they don't know what it can potentially allow them to do. Again, my frustration is also with the build quality of these products and the testing that they went through on release and the amount of people that actually decided to buy it. This is a video here of CNET, a publisher from the US, testing the hinge mechanism on the Razer, and it failed. I believe it was a quarter way in. Yeah, it failed literally just a quarter way in. The hinge mechanism just gave up.
I think we've come to the end of our show. As you can, that clicking noise did go away, but there's definitely a hitch in the system when it folds.
So what I'm trying to get at over here is, I know you can go for the product, and I know the prices may seem appealing, considering that, you know what, you may be getting X amount per month and you could afford to splurge a bit to actually get these products. However, by you signing for that contract and saying you're okay for them to be charging £1,799 for this product, you're essentially saying to them, go ahead, keep charging ridiculous money for ridiculous products, and we're okay with it. We'll keep taking it. Don't forget how much you can influence the market, by the way, yeah? You, the audience, you, the people, we, the people, can influence the market. If we decide we're not going to buy something because it's too expensive, or, you know, they're making way too much margin on it because they're deciding that they can rip us off, we can hold back. We don't need to purchase the thing, right? If we hold back, they will have to react to then sell their product, meaning they'll have to lower the price to a more reasonable price. So I want you to ask yourself, the products that you're buying right now, are they actually worth the money that you're paying for them? And all I'm asking you to do is, once you've thought about that, delay your process when it comes to buying. Save the money, try buy the product outright rather than on a contract. 1, you won't be charged any premiums, and 2, you can actually sell the product whenever you want, get as much money back as you can, and then go for something else if you wanted to. So let me know in the comment section, do you agree with everything I've said so far? Do you believe that phone prices are a bit too high? Do you believe that we're being charged way too much for data? Do you believe these phones that are coming out right now that are foldable and everything are worth the price tag that they're coming out with? Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. By the way, I'm running a competition right now on my channel. This is running till the end of September 2020. I'll put a link up right now if you want to watch the video and find out what this competition is about. Essentially, I'm giving away some vouchers, and if I can get my channel to 500 subscribers, I'll be giving away a next-gen console. If I can get my channel to 1,000 subscribers by then, I'll be giving away 2 next-gen consoles to 2 different winners. And I'm giving away a bunch of vouchers as well, gift card vouchers of your choice. So all you have to do is just be subscribed to the channel, and that's pretty much it. So let's move on to part 2 of where your money's going without you knowing. So the second part is car financing. Now, car financing is made up of 2 options. There may be different words for it, but this was the original terminologies that they had, the original acronyms. So it's HP and PCP. HP stands for hire purchase, and PCP stands for personal contract plan, or what I like to call the perfect prime plan. You'll understand why in a second. And I just want to mention as well, a car, most of the time, is a depreciating asset. So if you go onto a PCP or a HP contract on a depreciating asset, you're essentially going to pay interest on something that loses value. That's not really a smart move. Unless you need to go for a HP or a PCP plan, try avoid it. Because again, you're paying interest on something that's going down in value. Let's talk about HP, how it works, and how the overall term would look like if you was to go for a car. So on HP, you would pay a deposit, you agree to the length of the term that you want to go for, and then at the end of it, you own the car. PCP, perfect prime plan, you pay your deposit, you agree to the term of your contract, how long it is, then at the end of it, you have 3 options. Pay to keep your car, where you pay a lump sum, or what they call a balloon payment. Exchange the car for a different car, or return the car and walk away. That's it, you're done. So let's compare the 2 plans. Let's start with PCP, which is the one that I highly advise against doing, right? Because you just end up losing way too much money doing this method. Although it's a great method to get a brand new car, but again, delay that dopamine here, buy the car later on, and yeah, we have so much pressure on us nowadays to try and impress people around us. We just don't need to do that. But again, I know that can't be helped sometimes. PCP, I only advise if you're able to offset the cost somewhere. Back when I done my research, this car right here cost £10,000 and it didn't have any more miles than 70,000 miles on the clock. And I've actually checked the market recently again, So that car used to be worth £10,000. I can actually get it now with a similar mileage to what I had it before at £8,500. That's only 6 months down the line. I've already made £1,500 saving. This is crazy. This is what I'm telling you. It's a depreciating asset. So this car, you would pay £1,000 deposit, and then if you agree to a term of 48 months, you will then pay £189 a month for that term. Now, at the end of the term, you would have paid £9,098. That's not including the £1,000 deposit. Now, at the end of that, you're going to have 3 options. You can pay the balloon payment and own the car, which will cost you an extra £3,000. So that means in total, you would have paid over £12,000 for the car, when the car is now worth less than £4,000. So it doesn't really make sense. You're essentially paying in total about £13,000 when you could have just paid £10,000. So that that extra £3,000 is just what you paid on interest for that vehicle. So think about it. Is that worth it to you? Is that worth you paying the extra £3,000? Now, if we move over to HP, which is the same thing, you pay a deposit. We go with the same agreement term. The payment per monthly is higher, and the total that you end up paying at the end is £11,500, but you own the car already. So by the end of the term, compared to the PCP plan, you paid probably what, £1,000 more, £1,400 more, but now you own the car. There's no balloon payment or anything. And if you want to, you can then sell the car and regain some of your money back. So the difference is, on PCP, the initial interest that you pay at the end of the contract will be less and your monthly will be less. But if you decide to buy the car, then you end up getting screwed. If you decide to just walk away, you've essentially just thrown £12,000. No, you've essentially thrown £10,000 away. If you decide to go for another car, you're just choosing to get bum rushed again. Essentially, I don't know, there's no nicer way of saying it. Now, my advice to you is, if you have to finance a car, go HP rather than PCP. Now, I do have to mention that PCP do offer you a few advantages, such as some companies will offer you free MOT, free servicing, free tire changes, things like that when it comes to maintaining the car. But you have to think about it. These are small gestures to make you forget that you're chucking away money. Now, I like to do the saving method, and I've come to a point in my life right now where I would rather save the money, as I mentioned for the contracts, the phone contracts I was telling you about earlier. I would rather save the money and then buy the product outright. So if you could save £218 for the same term, you would end up saving that £10,000, right? So if you spend £1,000, and trust me, you can get so many cars right now for £1,000 that will last you a long while, right? If you need to know what these are, you want help finding some, leave me a comment in the description below. Not in the description, just leave me a comment and I'll help you out. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter and reach out to me. I will help you find the car that you need to get you along and help you save money so you can buy the car that you actually want. Now, if you can save that £218 for those 46 months, you will end up on £10,000. This means you can potentially buy the newer version of the car that you was going to buy. And the good thing about this, you're not tied into a contract. You're not going to pay any interest. And if you wanted to, after a year, you can sell the car and get a majority of your money back. But don't forget, cars depreciate value like crazy right now. It's ridiculous. Now, I'm not sure about you, but saving up the money and buying the car outright and not having to pay interest on that, that's a nice dopamine hit than anything could be. So that's the end of the episode. 2 things that you are potentially going to be wasting your money on, or for the youth out there, just be wary of what not to waste your money on and how you should behave when it comes to those 2 things. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you learned something from the episode. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. The logs that I create will be helpful advice, things I want to talk about to you all, specifically the youth, the generation that's coming up. Try pass some knowledge onto them, try pass some of my experience over to them. But I also do technology videos, I do automotive videos, and I do gaming videos. So if you're interested in any of those things, hit that subscribe button, help the channel grow, and don't forget I am running that competition. So all you need to do to be a part of that is hit the subscribe button. Before I finish off though, back when I decided to make this episode, there was a Fortnite hype, like a big Fortnite hype. Now I understand it's a free-to-play game, and I understand that in-game payments are how these companies or the creators of this game make money. However, what I have an issue with is how much they charge for it. If they was to reduce the price of it, more people would buy into it. But the sad truth is, we're so used to, well not we, but the younger generation right now, you're so used to spending like excruciating amounts of money on skins that you're going to be used to spending stupid amounts of money when you grow older. It's a mindset that's being set on you at a young age. And this is what you need to know and understand. You need to stop spending money on skins. Think about it, in a year's time or 2 years' time, when that game is no longer a hype anymore, you're not going to have anything to do with those skins. They're not going to transfer to a new account or anything like that. You need to think about the financial stresses that you're potentially putting on your parents or your carers. You may not be putting them in a financial stress, but you're making them spend money on something very, very useless. Right? If the skins cost less, I wouldn't have added this part onto my video, but these skins cost way too much. So I want you to take this lesson away as well, by the way, right? You, the consumer, can control the industry with the decisions that you make. If we agree to pay certain prices, these extreme prices for certain products, and we continue paying these extreme prices for certain products, they will continue selling us those products for extreme prices, and they will keep increasing those prices until, and this will only happen until we, the consumers, stop paying for those products at those extreme prices. So you stop buying, they'll have to start lowering their prices. And it's a known fact. Quality has gone downhill while prices have gone up. So by you not buying something, one of two things can happen. One, they stop selling the product. Or two, the more likely event, they reduce the price of the product. So it's down to you. What do you want to do? Save money, get more things with it? Your choice. Remember, you, the consumer, have more power than you think. Now, going back to my Fortnite farm, I want you to guess how much this skin cost. Right? Put it in the comment section. Before it actually shows the final price, put it in the comment section how much you think this skin cost. And I guarantee you, hardly anyone is even using this skin anymore. However, 6 months ago, this was the skin to buy. So, to put it into a pound value, right, this thing cost 1,500 V-Bucks. Now let me do some V-Bucks conversion for you to put it into a pound representative. The lowest amount of V-Bucks you can buy is for £7.99, but that will give you 1,000 V-Bucks. So even if you went for the lowest amount of V-Bucks, you can't buy that skin. So you would have to go for the £15.99 package, which gives you 2,000 V-Bucks. That means after you've bought that skin, you've now got 500 V-Bucks that you can spend on random different things. You can't really spend much. You can't, £500 V-Bucks won't actually get you much on there, so you'd end up having to buy more. So they get you in a cycle. Do you see what they're doing? They trap you in a circle of buying V-Bucks or whatever in-game currency that they have over and over again, just so you can get the skin that you want. And I'll be honest with you, £15 for a skin. Think about all the things that I just spoke about. If you was to save that money per month, what else could you buy with it later on down in your life? So you, the youth, if you was to save that amount per month, think about it. What could you buy? The car that you want by the time you're 18. The house that you want by the time you're 25. So think about where you spend the money. It might not be front of mind when we're young because we're playing games and it's just not something that we think about, but I believe it is something that we should be made aware of, and it is something that at a young age we should think about. We should have aspirations to buy more meaningful things later down in our life. So again, this whole V-Bucks thing setup that you're seeing over here, it's a marketing strategy to make you keep buying more. Now I want you to think about how hard your parents work for them to spend that money on a skin like that, right? It's just not fair. And I know these creators need to get paid money. This is why I want you to watch this episode that Hassan Minhaj did. This guy is he's true influencer. Like, this guy I look up to, and I wish I could do things to the scale that he's doing it on. But you know what? Right now, for me to do what I'm able to do right now, to reach the message out that I need to reach out to you guys, I'm happy doing it right now from this platform. But please watch Hassan Minhaj's episode on this actual industry when it comes to gaming. I know it's free to play, and back in my days when I was growing up, I do recall me doing something similar as well, wanting a game, buying it. However, back then you bought a game and that was it. There wasn't no in-game payments or anything like that. You paid £30 for a game and that would last you like 6 months to a year. Now you'd end up spending about £15.99 every month or every other month if you're lucky. I've heard stories of people spending over £200 per month. So again, it's something that I want you to take away. I want you to think about it, understand, and just realize the decisions that we're making in life, especially when it comes to small minor things like that. How will it affect us going forward? How will it affect us when we're growing up? How will it affect our decision making as we get older? If you're used to spending this amount of money at a young age, for you to spend more extremes amount of money as a monthly payment will be nothing to you. So these payments that I'm talking about for a phone contract, for a car finance, to you in the future, they may be way more, but you're going to be used to paying it because you were used to paying a small amount like that repetitively for a game. It's a mindset, it's a trick that's being played, and it's a trick that's going to bite us in the arse in the long run. So I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you found this episode useful. I hope you learned something from it, and I'll catch you on the next log. I'm not entirely sure what the topic is going to be for the next log, but leave me a comment, let me know what you thought about this one, and I'll catch up with you soon. I've got more tech videos coming out very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Until then, everyone, peace, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.